What's up, guys? This is how typically a round 2 would work. At the beginning of my turn, I draw one card. If you don't have any playable cards in your hand, then you may draw 2 cards. But since I have our cards in my hand, I draw 1. Before moving on to my attack phase, I decide to retreat Kushina back to my hand. Hopefully this seems pretty obvious, but whenever you retreat a card, you don't always have to replace it with another card. Just in this situation, I wanted to replace the Kushina with the Sakura R. Also decides to spend one of his chakra points to put Minato onto the field. Just a reminder that in order to play an SR card, you have to spend 1 chakra point. A player can only move 2 cards at the beginning of their turn. If they wish to move more than that, they must spend a chakra point. Just want to be clear, this is the only time that you can move cards. So once they are out there, they have to stay there until your next turn. Alright, now moving on to my attack phase. I decide I want to have my Jugo card attack Connor's SR Sasuke card. Now, we both know going into this that Jugo's combat power, CHP, is higher than that of Sasuke's, which is 28.5. And so we both look at Jugo's attack, which is 29,000, which will end up killing Sasuke. So that is why Connor rolls a 6-sided defense die, because it's an SR. And he called out a 3 and got a 4, which means that Sasuke is now defeated. In another situation, I would have my other cards attack any of Connor's other cards that are on the field, but since there is only 1 card on his side of the field, I attack that, and now I get to roll for chakra points.
Because it is a rarity higher, Adam will have to roll a 3 to 6. If it is a 1 or 2, he does not get a bonus point.
So I take my dice, and I roll it, and I get a 6, so this means I do get a chakra point.
Congratulations, Adam. You're good at this game.
So once I move my counter to the correct amount of chakra points, it is my turn to go to the evolution stage now. And yes, I did accidentally forget to draw a card from the SSR/HR pile for defeating Connor's SR. Now, if Minato were to have attacked Sasuke, then it would go back to rolling a even and or rolling an odd. An odd would gain him a chakra point, and then an even would not. So now it's the evolution phase of my turn. And keep in mind that you do not have to evolve cards during this phase of your turn. So you may skip this phase if you don't want to evolve anything, or you can't evolve anything. In this case, I do have an SR Sakura card that I would like to upgrade my R Sakura to. So I do replace that, and now I have to shuffle this card back into my R/SR pile, which means that it loses all damage that it has taken. And that's if it has taken any damage. In this case, it has not taken any damage, so it just goes back in the pile. So now it goes on to Connor's turn. Now, like we discussed previously, he only has SR cards in his hand, which means that they're not playable because you'd have to use a chakra point. So this means that he gets to draw up to 2 cards. He places them both down, which they happen to both be guys. And he decides that he wants one of his guys to attack my Sakura SR card. Now, forgive me, I can't remember the exact stats on this card, but bottom of the line, guy's CHP is higher than Sakura's, and his attack would absolutely demolish Sakura. So now it is up to me to defend Sakura by rolling for a substitution juice. Since she's an SR card, I get to roll a 6-sided die. And I called out a 2 and got a 1. So that means that Sakura is now defeated and goes into the graveyard. Connor now retreats his guy back to his side of the battlefield and has his other guy attack my Karin card. So now we look at the stats, and obviously guy has better stats than Karin, so
he kills, unless Adam successfully substitution jutsus. Because it is an R, he has to use an 8-sided die.
I called out a 3, and I rolled an 8. So that means that Karin is now dead/defeated and goes into the graveyard.
Because he killed 2 people, he gets to roll his dice twice. The first time, it was a rarity up, so he gets to roll on a 3 to 6. He lands a 4, so that is 1 point. Second time, it was an equal rarity, so he has to roll an odd number. It's a 1, so he gets a 2nd point.
Just to be clear, doesn't matter what rarity the card is, the bonus phase will always be rolled with a 6-sided die.
And he moves on to his evolution phase. He decides to spend 1 chakra point to evolve one of his guys to an R version, putting his R back into the pile to be shuffled up later. It is now the end of his turn. But because Adam went first, it is also the end of the second round. It moves back to the first round, and both players get a chakra point